Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at Drifters episode 4. So, Drifters episode 4 was what I expected this episode to be. We got all talking, no action whatsoever. This was all talking. Literally 20, 20 minutes of talking. Now, was it important? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Like, to me, this is one of those things where this is the issue I have with Hellsing Ultimate. I know people get pissed off. I know I saw a lot of dislikes with my last video, but I'm going to be honest and I'm going to stay true to how I feel about this show. If you have issues with that, hey, listen, you can put down dislikes. That is all you. That's your prerogative. But the thing is that Drifters is following the same issue that I have with Hellsing Ultimate, where there are a lot of times where there's too much downtime. This show excels at animation and the fighting and all that, and I think has a decent story, but there are times where I feel like it needs a fusion of the both to work together in kind of a harmony with one another, and this episode did not do that. We have, the characters talking about what the essentially what the end is consistent of, like what is the end all about, and more so these are about, of course, as we learned about last episode, famous warriors and heroes that are essentially kind of bitter. They really hate. They really are full of, I would say almost a kind of animosity towards humans in general. Thus, why they want to fight. If you look at all the characters' background stories, like for example, the Ice Princess from Russia, or Joan of Arc, they did have what in their time could be considered hate toward their death. I mean, it was more so not an honorable death by any means. It was more so a death, or at least a historical or mythos death that was kind of sad and depressing. So it's understandable why they are so full of like rage and why they're so against helping the other drifters out. More so, they want to fight in their army that is against everyone else and kill just whoever they see fit to kill. And they explain that at the beginning of the episode, probably the most important part of the episode. But the rest of the stuff is kind of more so just, I want to say, some interesting little tidbits. Like for example, the next scene right here, we have Oda claiming that Toyo is actually now going to be the main leader of them. He's the commander, and Toya goes, "Why am I the leader? What made me warranted to be the leader of you guys?" And he goes, "Oh, because you sat down in the middle that one time." And then they show the image from last episode where he was sitting on the box in the middle of everyone, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, that makes you worthy of leader, huh?" Okay. I guess so. Why not, right? We also see the Black Death, the Black Death, or the Black Hand. I think I forgot what exactly his name was. I think it's Black Hand, but whatever the two. It doesn't really matter. He's just a bad guy. He's the main antagonist of the show. Looks like, obviously. It seems like a lot of the creatures and the kind of underlings that he has with them really do fear him, but at the same time appreciate him. And he seems like he appreciates them. Like there's a one of the orcs that I guess are in his army, like one of the pig creatures, is hurt really bad, and I guess one of the previous fights, he goes up to him and heals him using his magic, and he's like, "I'm grateful, thank you very much." And it seems like everyone has a lot of respect for him. So even though he's considered, I guess, bad from everyone else's sense, at least his own army respects and wants to fight for him. So that is very important for a leader to have. So it makes him a stronger leader, I guess, for these people too. They're not just fearful of him; they actually do want to fight for him because he treats them with respect. Now, we also see probably one of my favorite parts of this whole episode. It was nothing really even happened, but it was so awesome nonetheless. Where we see the pilot from last episode finally crashed into the ground, and his ship's actually okay, so his plane's okay for the most part. But as he gets out, he sees a whole bunch of wolves, and he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do to me? I'll kick your ass." And he's cracking his knuckles and stuff. I'm like, you are the coolest character. They better use you in better situations. Like, I'll be so pissed off if this guy does not get used more often in the show. Like, I can't wait till he has more cameos. Like, right now he's got a lot so far for how quickly he showed up in the show, but I want him to be in there more because he's so badass. What the episode essentially ends with is a lot more talking, in the sense that we see the I want to say the elven group of this village, like the elvish people here in general, are talking about how their villages have always been destroyed for the last like 40 years. And they've always been kind of downtrodden against the higher powers of their country, of their world, and they're tired of that. They feel like they want to be seen at a higher rank. Thus, why they're kind of fighting back. Why they were willing to kill that one leader from last episode. Why they were so willing to listen to Toya and kill him. They want to be seen as a force. And this is where Toya comes in and goes, "Well, you gotta do it then. You gotta show that you're willing to fight. You gotta fight for what you believe in." And that was kind of interesting. I mean, that goes to show you that Toya maybe is meant to be a leader of them. And I mean, I'm not really surprised by that. You see him always being the main kind of character for the images and all that, so I'm not surprised by that. The episode ends with one more scene, but I didn't take a screenshot of it because it's really not important. It was just showing that it looks like the armies are kind of getting ready to kind of bounce back to where they got to go. So I'm guessing next episode will be more fighting. I'm thinking that's what's gonna happen. But this episode was really just all talk. And I'm not saying that this show, like, I want to tell people, I'm not saying I hate this show. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not that I hate the show. I really find it interesting. It's just that I feel like it could be better, paced wise. I feel like the pacing's not that great. I feel like the comedy's really, really hit or miss, more so miss than hit. I feel that, the show excels when it's doing animation correctly and doing the fights and stuff like that. And when you have episodes like this, it just brings me back to Hellsing Ultimate's like last few episodes where we just saw talking and nothing happening. And I'm not akin to, like, you're gonna see my next review, which is gonna be of the Zaragato series, the anime for it. I'm gonna do the review for that, and you're gonna see me talking about a show that essentially was 27 minutes of talking. But there's something different about how they do it in that show and how they do it here. And that's what I want to mention. I'm going to talk about those two. I'm actually going to make references to how Drifters does its kind of, I want to say, quiet and peaceful moments. And I know people might say, well, how can you I'm not comparing the two. I'm saying more so how a show does simpler moments of talking versus another show that's surrounded by talking and how it does the talking on that one. Anyways, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this review nonetheless. As always, if you do like these reviews, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, share the video, the whole nine. I hope you have a blessed day, everyone. I will talk to you later in the next review. Bye-bye.